And now want to share their experience and knowledge with you. Hey, maybe they do know a little something. You can join Alan and Rich by calling in toll-free 1-800-889-0267 or watch them on elkinsandfriedman.com on Friday nights. Now your hosts for the next hour, Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman.
Hey now, everybody. How are you?
How you doing, Alan?
Post-Christmas show, Richard?
Yes, it certainly is. Actually, this is our annual New Year's show tonight.
It is. It's our first
Last week was
annual.
our Christmas show, annual show. Tonight's our New Year's show.
Our pre-New Year's show. Well, a lot's been going on. First, let me say we're here, as always, with our executive producer, Freddie, his lovely assistant, Lynn, the board op, and we have a special guest with us tonight whose name is Ro. Just two simple letters, R-O.
That's it.
You were born that way, Ro, R-O?
No, my name's Rosalia, but for short and cute, we call it Ro.
Just R-O.
Well, it is short and cute.
Row your boat. You don't forget.
So, where do you come from? Where do you hail from, Ro?
Well, I was originally born in Peru,
Okay.
and I've been living in Boca for the last 7 years.
No, as do Richard and I.
Wow. We could have carpooled it tonight.
We should have carpooled.
We
know.
should have.
Yeah, 4 lanes of traffic shut down
Unbelievable.
tonight.
I had to weave in and out all over the place to get up here.
And it's amazing
I
you
hope my
made
audience
it.
appreciates what I had to do to
So
get
I know
here
you
tonight.
came up 95, got off on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard.
No, I got off at Okeechobee.
Okeechobee. So that worked out okay.
Then I got onto Australian North.
Yeah,
Then made a left
Congress?
turn on Palm Beach Lakes.
Yeah.
And then a right on Congress.
yeah.
And here I am.
Of course, our listeners that hail from other parts of the...
They don't know what we're talking
don't have a
about.
clue. What about you, Ro? How did you get here tonight?
I had to drive right through it. It took me 45 minutes from Okeechobee to...
Oh, so you stayed on 95 and just got off on 45.
Unfortunately, I did.
Because it's interesting. I came up, too, from Congress so that I could see the accident on the left, and I saw a lot of fire engines.
Yeah, I
guess.
never saw as many fire engines.
I know.
Something told me, get off now at Palm Beach, but
Yeah.
I kept going. And
Well, you
it was
made
a
it.
mistake.
Yeah, she got
Actually-
here the same time I did.
Yeah,
We came
walked in
together.
the same time
We
as
did.
Richard. Well, listen, I hope everybody had a nice Christmas. You know my story. You want me to
Of course,
say what
tell
I
the
did
audience
first?
your story.
Yeah, it's always
I've
about
heard
me
it a million
according to some
times,
people.
so
I know.
Pour somebody else with it now.
All right. Well, you want to talk about your Christmas first, or nothing? Not a lot happened.
What did I do for Christmas? Jeez, it was so eventful. I can't even remember.
You didn't do a
It was
doggone
only 2
thing,
days
did you?
ago.
You
I
did
went
nothing.
to Starbucks.
Did you?
The place was packed with people.
Did you get a gift from Christmas gift from anybody?
No. I'm supposed to get a pair of socks from my secretary.
Because you were naughty.
Yeah.
You went begging for gifts.
My
again from the
secretary,
office.
Melissa, is
Yeah.
supposed to give me a pair of socks, or a dozen pair.
Are you serious?
She got into a fight when she called up online to order the socks because they wanted a $10 shipping charge.
And she refused
She
to pay.
refused to pay it.
But listen, you're the only guy I know that asks the employees to give you a Christmas gift, and
If I didn't ask, I'd never get it.
I know what your logic is. Your logic's pretty straightforward. I'm looking here. I got a text that says there's no sound online. No, we're working on it. Okay, we're working on it. Thanks for that message, though. We just have to look pretty, everybody.
But they can hear us on the radio.
They can hear us on the radio. They
All
can
right.
hear us on the radio. All right, so here's the deal. Okay, we talked about you're begging for socks. Hopefully you'll get them.
Hopefully, I'll get a couple pair.
And you're the kind of guy that strikes me when you get socks, they're probably like just black and brown.
No,
right?
I got the. I picked out the group of socks. I got black,
Yeah.
argyle, gray,
Yeah.
and I think dark blue.
You even picked out the socks that you wanted her to give you.
Yeah, she didn't know which ones
It's
to get me.
unbelievable. I know. Well, you're not as brave because I've been wearing Happy Socks for a long time.
Happy socks.
Yeah, lots of
What's a
colors.
Happy sock?
It's a brand called Happy Socks. You ever hear of that, Rob?
No, I haven't.
They're great. I like, tonight, I'll say what I did. And it's a nice shot of your bald spot from the back there, Richard.
Who's mine?
I think that's you. Better not be me or I'm in trouble.
No, it is mine.
All right.
Jeez.
That's all right. Well,
All right, well,
we'll just blame Freddie Sr. who positioned the cameras tonight.
I think he did that on purpose.
I think so. Anyway.
Where is Freddie Sr. anyway? He took off.
He took off.
Good,
He
now we
left
can
us.
talk about him.
That's right. Now, but that's Freddie's son, the genius of the family. It's not Freddie Sr., I know that. So this has to be the genius.
Well, hold on. Where was the
Freddie Jr.'s gone. The guy I call Freddie Jr. So,
But who is Freddie Jr.?
well, Freddie Jr.'s his son who's over in Tampa, I understand. And this is Freddie. Can I call you Freddie Jr. Jr.? No. Got a big thumbs down, and since he's running the board here,
Yeah,
we
I
better
want to pull
behave.
the plug on me while I'm talking.
Now, Ro, tell us about your Christmas.
Well, I'm actually Peruvian, so I celebrated Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve
Christmas
is
Eve.
okay.
That's when you open up the presents.
That's when we gather, and around midnight we open the presents, and well, we have dinner, and then I sadly realized this weekend that the next day you're kind of left fending for yourself for food, because unless you have leftovers, you don't have much in the
So it's
in the
Christmas
fridge.
Eve or bust. That's pretty much it.
pretty much.
You know when I open the presents?
For me.
Whenever I get them.
Yeah, I know.
I don't need a holiday.
All right, well, listen, enough of your boring stories. As you probably know, I'm married to a lovely flight attendant. I don't
I
think
mean, the
we
one
can get
you
her
called the
picture on
sausage
screen.
the other week? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
that's the one, Richard. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, now we have sound. Yeah, we're back on. All right, so if I had a picture, I just thought of something. I could
that?
go old school. I could just hold a picture up to the camera and let's see what we do. Here's the first picture. Now, I don't think I can do that, but there we go.
Oh, she
What is
dressed
it?
like
That's like she dressed. My wife's a flight attendant. She dresses like Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
That'd make me Mr. Claus with the white, but that's Mrs. Claus. I wonder if I can do that.
Now, did you dress up like Santa Claus?
Well, no, I was a passenger. This is how she actually worked.
I thought
the
he
flight,
dressed up
believe
as
it or not.
the Grinch.
Yeah, the
Isn't that what he
Grinch.
is, the Grinch?
Yeah, no, cheap shot, Richard. But so what happens? My wife, I actually asked her at the last minute. Flight attendants kind of interesting. They bid on trips. So she bid on a trip to go to Nice, France, which happens to be, I don't know if Richard knows, my favorite place.
I mean, I think
in Europe.
Nice is so nice.
Nice is nice. In fact, it's a wonderful place. It's the French Riviera.
Well, come
in
on, be
itself
honest.
is
You go
beautiful.
to Nice because you want to go to the topless beaches. Isn't that why you go?
No. Yeah, the problem is this is the winter. Maybe this summer you're onto something, Richard. I never thought about it. But that happens to be true, as a matter of
What?
fact, what you say.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, she booked the flight. She got the flight, and
Right.
I went with her. And then my two stepsons, who were
Can I
7.
interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes.
I'm getting tired of looking at the back of my head. Anything we can do about that?
Well, when Freddie
Okay, that's much
Senior
better.
comes
Thank
in,
you. All right.
That's great.
All right, go ahead.
So it happened. So we brought the 15 and 17-year-old along with us, and no problem getting on the flight over. And it's a wonderful thing because, we get business class. And
Oh, did you get business class?
Yeah, the whole way. All right,
I
so
get steerage in the back.
yeah, you get steerage.
They put me in with the trash and the garbage.
with the baggage.
The baggage and everything like that.
It's probably true. Look, these are incredibly expensive seats. So my
How long
advice
is the
is
flight?
marry a flight attendant.
How long is the flight?
The flight going was about, I want to say about 7.5 hours because I guess the wind's at your tail or something like that, so you go faster. Coming back, it was actually about 9 hours. So it's great. In fact, I have another picture. I don't know how else to do this other than I will now show you another picture. And just coincidentally, when I saw in the New York Post, I look at the Post a lot online looking for articles, and they had most scenic Christmas pictures. And doggone it, if Nice actually wasn't on there as number one. Well, here's a cute picture dressed up. There, let's try this. Don't think we can see that.
Oh, that's
there.
beautiful.
Let me
Well,
see. What is
yeah,
that?
this is me
What is
sitting with outside with the fake snow and the beautiful trees, and with two fake reindeer, pretending that I'm riding the reindeer.
Which Rudolph and Prancer?
You remember that last week? Richard remembers. Now, the other thing I want to show. This is probably my most beautiful picture.
That's gorgeous.
This
It's
is
like a festival.
This is what they do. That's exactly what they do with all kinds of lights. I'll show you too, Richard. There.
Wow,
You should
very
just
nice.
get up and show the camera there. But the bottom line is it's really a beautiful place. Now, they did have some rain. First day we got there, overcast, okay. But when you get there, we got there Christmas Eve, so everything's going to be closing most things about 6, 7 o'clock. So we ended up doing that. And just like you said, you kind of fend for food. So you run to the markets, although some restaurants are open, and we didn't have a problem with that. And then the next day, again, there was some rain, which was unfortunate, but it just doesn't stop you from having a good time on Christmas. So did that. Now,
So let me ask you. So how many weeks were you in Nice?
Yeah, that would be 2 days.
2 days.
But again,
I think everybody goes to Nice for 2 days.
that's right. Well, when they're married to a flight attendant, you do. And not only that, but one of the pilots brought his girlfriend. Actually, a female pilot brought her husband. So it's just, you try to bid on a good trip to go ahead and do that. So that was fine. Now, going back to pretty good, uneventful, get on the plane, fly back. And what happens, you fly to JFK, New York. So we get there, and we have a couple hours to kill, and unfortunately, because you get there late, that there was only one flight out back to Fort Lauderdale, and the rule is...
And I heard that there was only 3 seats, but there were 4 of you.
There were actually 2 seats, because my wife had the jump seat book, which was smart on her part, so that meant there was actually only 1 seat showing. So sometimes people miss flights for a variety of reasons,
Correct.
and you stand by that gate. You stand by the gate. So sure enough, 1 seat opened up, so my 2 stepkids went back with my wife. They got home.
So women
albeit
and children first, so to speak.
So what did I have to do? I felt left out.
So you found a bus bench and you spent the night.
Well, that's another story. But once I did, I was too cheap to get a hotel room.
You didn't get a hotel room last night?
No, I did last night.
I know. The other time, that was a
The other
classic.
time, I spent the night at the.
Let me tell people what happened.
Go ahead. You remember?
Right. What happened is this: you got to the airport and there wasn't a flight back to Florida. So you had a tough decision. Do I spend the night in a nice hotel, or do I sleep in a chair in the airport?
Yeah.
So what does my co-host do? He goes for the cheaper way.
Yeah.
He spends the night, in the airport. And what he does is he pulls up 2 chairs.
That's right.
He makes
You
it to a
remember
little bed.
I made it to a little bed.
Okay. Now, in the middle of the night, the cleaning people, the maintenance people come along to straighten things out. They see him. They think he's a homeless man. And they bring him a bottle of water and a bag of potato chips.
You got a pretty good memory. I thought you were.
I tell that story about 3 or 4 times a
Well,
week.
the interesting thing, if you ever notice at the airport when you sit in the seats or in those rows, and they always have like the armrests, and I think that's to prevent people from laying down like a bench.
That actually happened to me once. I missed a plane. I found a wheelchair and I made it into a little bed.
That's not bad.
See,
A
you gotta
wheelchair
get
and a bed.
creative.
See,
That's
You
a good
have to
angle.
get
Learn next
creative.
time.
That is. That's ingenious.
Absolutely. And if not, you go find a bar and then your pain's gone.
Well, maybe. But what I had to do, the other thing you can perch yourself up in a chair and then try to slide your feet under the armrest. So it's okay if you're like this. Anyway, the bottom line is I wasn't going to be that cheap. Call me cheap once, but not cheap twice. Rented a hotel, and then I got up. I've had, I think, 2 hours sleep in the last 36 hours. So then I ended up going to the airport.
I should warn you, be careful. Some of those cab drivers, what they do is they keep you riding around the airport to run up the bill,
All right.
figuring you're a
Did
tourist.
I tell you
don't
this?
know any better.
I didn't tell you this, right? So I'm exhausted, but I rent a hotel room. I go right out the doors of the airport, and there was no cab line. There were maybe 2 people in front of me. So I booked on purpose a hotel. It says closest hotel to JFK, literally about 1.5 miles.
You could have walked there.
So I probably should have walked there. So my cab driver was a nice man. I think he was from Africa. I knew by the accent, African, sounded like Mr. Mandela. Okay, so I said, here's where I'm going. And I gave him the street address, figuring that a New York cab driver, they know their way around everywhere.
They know
Sure,
their
but they
way
know that you
around
don't know your
to
way
get your
around.
rate
Exactly.
up.
Yeah, Richard's right. But I don't think this guy was an unscrupulous guy. But I could tell when we first did it, I'm traveling about 5 minutes, and I go, something's wrong here. I said I should be, it said literally within 5 minutes of the hotel. So then I hit the GPS on the phone. You see the little dots. And I go, look, dude, you're the wrong way. So he takes my phone, and he goes, we tried to find. So I said, well, wait a minute. The meter's
Yeah,
running.
you shouldn't be finding it on your dime.
All right, so
I
then,
hope you didn't leave him a tip.
I did.
Oh,
It's
geez.
Christmas. But the meter's running, so we get off, and now I'm thinking, crap, he pulls off a side street. My bag's in the car. I'm tired and it's late. Now is the guy just going to say, get the heck out of my car? And I'm in some residential area. So he goes, no. He says, I know what to do. So then somehow he starts going, and I'm looking on my phone, and it looks like we're going the right area. And then fortunately, he did. He went the wrong way. He circled back around the side. And then
Luckily,
I
it
go,
wasn't your pilot.
yeah, no kidding. And I go, I see it. I see the hotel. So get to the hotel. So what should have been a really cheap bill ended up costing me $20.
That's with the tip or without the
Yeah, it
tip?
was with the tip. Changed.
It probably should have cost you about 10.
Anyway, get to the room. A little bit on the moldy side, but what do you expect for $115 in New York? Spent the night there.
Sounds like the room your sister stayed in on her honeymoon.
Well, that's right, and that's a story for another day. So listen, boy, we are killing some good time here. Lynn, I'll keep talking for another minute. So here's what happens. I get to the airport. I get up at 5 a.m., take the shuttle over there. It's an 8 o'clock airport flight. So I start looking, and the way it is, when you fly standby, they have like the monitor there, and it'll basically say, the seats that are already occupied and how many available seats. So the bad feeling is you see the number dwindle down, Like there's a list of standby, and I was number 6. But just because I'm standby in 6, there could be people there that aren't necessarily standby that have asked for seats to move to other things and this and that. So I go, crap, I'm screwed. I think I can say I'm screwed right there.
Said
I said it. All right. So I'm thinking, do I fly to LaGuardia? Do I take the bus over? Because JFK doesn't have that many flights going to Fort Lauderdale. And I check Miami. I check West Palm Beach. So fortunately, and I said to my wife, if I don't get on this, you're buying me a ticket. I don't care what it costs because I want to come home.
She's buying a ticket?
Well, I said, you're going to buy me a ticket on my dime so I can come here for this stinking show. Otherwise, I would have to stay in New York.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening, I'm waiting. And the woman goes, everybody's on board. She goes, Elkins. I go, here. You always stand right there with your ticket. She says, looks like we have one space, but I'm not sure. They may already be on the plane and we missed it. So she brings me in the jetway there, and now they've closed the door. So that's a first good sign. The door is closed. Once that magic door is closed, you think you're okay.
You're not getting up.
Right. So what happens? She says, "Wait in the jetway there. That little thingy that hooks up to the plane."
Right.
So everybody filters on board, and they go, "You made it." Okay. So this happened to me once before too.
Everybody cheer?
I thought I made it. So I'm hoping that we're going to just leave right away, push back. But no, people's luggage is delayed. So the longer you're still there, you figure, somebody's going to come running on and beg, and they're going to open up the door and take me off the plane. And that did happen to me once.
No, but once you're on the plane, no?
Happened to me once before. I was actually in my seat. They said, no, we got to do it. And another time, because of weight distribution, I had to get off a flight. So I'm praying. So we sit there, we start backing out, it starts backing out, and then the pilot comes on and says, we've been told there'll be like a 40-minute delay. It's cold in New York. It's about 32 degrees. They're going to de-ice a couple planes and this and that. So I'm praying. And then finally, we start to get in line, and now I think I'm home free. So this is the interesting part of the story.
I hope so, because it hasn't been too interesting up to this point.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Well, and this is going to lead us in our first story, but normally, when there's one seat left, it's the odds are it's going to be kind of a crappy seat.
I'm praying for a break. Any chance of a break?
No, stop.
Please.
This is much too interesting.
My beard is growing listening to this
It's
story.
all right. Listen
Look
to
at
me.
this.
So you and I talked about this briefly. So one seat left on the plane. This is unbelievable. The only open seat is next to, I was supposed to sit where a kid was, but he ended up moving a seat next to his parents. So I take an aisle seat, and I see this girl kind of like leaning back. Anyway, it turns out this girl is really good looking. And I'm thinking, I hit the jackpot. I mean, normally it's, it's
Is your wife listening to this story?
I'm afraid so. It's normally the 300-pound guy that's leaning.
That's who I always get, the 300-pound guy that brought in like 2 bags of potato chips. With
or you got the guy that, smells of whatever he just ate. Like today I saw people bring bagels on board.
I had a guy bring like a sub, a foot-long sub, and
sub.
he's eating it with onions and pickles and all that good
So
stuff.
I'm going to tell you the story, but before I do, I'm going to say I sat next to this girl that's an actress / professional dancer. Her name is Courtney Galliano, COURTNEY GALIANO. So while we're on break, look her up on Google if you can. And I saw she has a Wikipedia site, and she's got an interesting background. In the meantime, you can view us at elkinsandfriedman.com. So now let's go to our first break, and we'll be back.
All right, thank God. Not a moment too soon.
Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins and Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins and Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Are you dreaming about your next home improvement project? Let the experienced Carbonneau craftsmen help make your dream home a reality. Call them at 954-984-9393 and let them help you redo the things in your home that make it special. At Carbonneau, they specialize in residential door and window design, repairs, and screens. They carry the top brands you know and trust: BHI, Galaxy, Windor, and ES. They'd be happy to create a signature look for your home. Call Carbonneau at 954-984-9393 and let them know you heard about them on the Elkins and Friedman Know Nothing Show. And you'll get a special 10% discount just for mentioning their name. 954-984-9393 is the number for Carbonneau Home Repair. And the sooner you call them and have the home team at your doorstep, the faster that'll make your dream house a reality. Call today or visit their website at CarbonneauHomeRepair.com. That's 954-984-9393. Schedule a free estimate today. 954-984-9393. This is the Know Nothing Show with practicing attorneys Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman. Elkins and Friedman have been helping folks throughout Florida for more than 30 years, and they're here now to share their knowledge and experiences with you. Stand by for more information and fun.
And we're back, everybody.
Right.
We're back.
That was a break, a well-needed break. I needed that break.
Well, listen, just in case, I want to hold up a picture. I don't know if it went through or not, but it's hard to see.
Well,
what do you
we get the feeling. I mean,
Got a picture.
We get the
Spell
feeling.
the
somebody,
name.
under the age of 26.
So what I read about her, interesting background, like a New York girl. She's living in Los Angeles now. And what I didn't know, she didn't tell me. I know she goes around. She's a dancer and puts on for other dance studios, I guess, other professional dancers where they teach like these little kids, that sign up to do that kind of stuff. But what I didn't know, she was actually on one of those dancing shows, one of those contests.
Right, there's a couple of those shows on now.
Yeah.
Dancing with Mom or whatever that's called.
Just,
and then there's another one on Lifetime that's coming out.
On Lifetime?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, Lifetime. I wouldn't lie to you.
You watch Lifetime? Wait, that's a
Doesn't
story
everybody?
right there. Yeah,
Last night on Lifetime, my favorite movie was on.
I'm afraid to ask, Richard. What was that?
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman? Oh, jeez. All right, I've heard it now.
That Richard Gere, he's some actor.
Now, here, look. I got another picture here. This girl apparently was on So You Think You Can Dance, and here she is in one of her dance outfits.
I think she could dance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, anyway. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, Ro, we are pigs on this show, No use hiding it.
So feel free to call him a pig anytime you want.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, she's cute. Can't deny
Yeah,
it.
hey, listen.
Yeah.
Anybody
He
that's
can only go get those
Smitten.
pictures when his wife's not around.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I told my wife. I made sure that I showed this girl. We were like trading pictures and whatever. So anyway, she came down here to take a vacation and go on a cruise with her boyfriend. Check that out. It's ready to fix her up with one of my sons.
Where is he, though? He wasn't on the plane, the boyfriend?
No, I guess he was already down here, but I guess he's a choreographer, and apparently this girl's done like Pitbull, videos or whatever.
Pitbull videos?
Well, you know what Pitbull is, right?
It's a
geez,
dog.
Richard. Yeah, you're right. It's a dog. All right, anyway. I digress. So let's do our first story of the evening, everybody.
All right.
Now.
Give me a brief overview of the first story.
Okay, and there's nothing dirty, Richard. You'll be happy to know. I did see, I looked up, there's a site where you can look up top 10 lists. And I don't make this up. Richard doesn't like it, but I'm how do I describe it? It's not that, I do things that are slightly off color. For instance.
Right. Remember now, I don't want to lose any of our sponsors. It took a long time to get these people. So.
Well, actually, it was the top 10 penises. There's a real top 10 list. I'm not doing that story tonight, Richard, but there's really a story like that. And you know who was number one? Because I read the story. It was John Wayne Bobbitt. They gave him number one. Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting.
And I think Michelangelo was number two. I'm getting a laugh out of Lynn the Board Op. She didn't know that.
No, I think it's a little gas. I think it's not laughing.
But Richard, to make you happy, I'm keeping things on the clean side. So what I have here are the 20 most annoying things people do on planes. And the way we can play this game, again, the 20 most annoying things. Now, we can go,
Here's the most annoying thing.
All right, you want to jump in, Richard?
I hate when
Loves
somebody
these
tries
games.
to go to first class to get the better food.
No, they can't do that.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, it's not,
I've been doing that for years.
A guy like you is peanuts. That's what you get. All right, let's first see if anybody can guess. We go around the room, but our executive producer and his equally charming assistant producer aren't in the room.
Around outside there. What are
So
they doing?
we're I guess there's only the three of you. The three. We have Richard playing, we have Ro playing, and we have Lynn playing. So see if you can guess. In fact, let's see if you can guess any of the top five, the most annoying things that people do on planes. So let's go to our guest first, Ro. What would you say is the most annoying thing people do on planes?
Well, if you're my uncle, it would be to take a sleeping pill and snore so much that captain has to come out and try and wake you up. And you
He
still don't
snores
wake
that
up.
loudly? Seriously?
Eventually, the hostess had to get on the microphone to say, "I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about this. Just put your headphones on and
Really?
watch the movie."
That's unbelievable. I would have
So-
I don't know what I would have done. I would have maybe carried him into the bathroom and just locked him.
No, I would
in
have just
there.
like hit him with the elbow when
I know.
when he
The
wasn't
worst
looking.
part is he actually asked the lady next to him afterwards, "Hey, so how'd I do?"
That's funny.
She hated it.
But Ro, it's not on the list, so let's go to Richard. You just hold on.
Yes.
Okay, let's ask Lynn. What is the most annoying thing to you that somebody does on a plane?
I think lean over, like on you, like
Invades your
take it-
personal
yeah.
space. I do believe that's on here somewhere, but it's not in the top three because I'm looking at the top three. Okay, Richard, your turn.
Okay, this is what I hate. Is that somebody comes in with like this big bag and it's full of food, and they sit down and they're having this huge meal with sandwiches and potato chips and dessert and cookies. It's like they don't stop eating.
Okay, that's number 13 on the list. Scarfing smelly food. It says we get it. Airlines have cut back on food service, forcing us all to bring our own snacks and meals on board. But did you really have to clean out the back of your refrigerator and bring it on the flight? So I will
I know. I can't
cross
stand
off
that.
smelly food.
Why can't they eat before they get on the plane?
Okay, round two. Okay, Ro, give me another one. Some obnoxious thing that somebody does on a flight.
Letting your kids run around wild.
That's a good one.
You know what
And
it
I
feels
am-
like? This sounds like Family Feud we're talking about. You know, same thing on Family Feud.
And I am fairly certain that's on the list, but it's not in the top three.
Really?
I know kids are on here. Oh, well, here, babies crying's number 16.
Oh,
Nothing.
to
Was
me
that
that-
here? Do you have a
can't
mic?
help
You can
that.
participate.
You can't
Okay.
help the baby, though.
Well, so
I know, I
screw
hate
those
that.
little buggers.
I know the parents just
What can
sit
you
there.
do?
They don't do anything to try to control the child.
Okay, so number 16, babies crying. Okay, but we're still not up there. Whose turn now?
I think it's my turn.
Okay, give me another one, Richard.
Okay, I'm going to make this a good one. A good one is when I'm sitting like in the aisle seat.
Yeah?
So, you know, the guy sitting by the window decides he needs to get up to get something out of the, what do you call the thing?
Yeah, the
compartment?
overhead bin.
The overhead bin. So, excuse me, you got to get up. Then he opens up the overhead bin, takes down his suitcase. He's looking and he's looking and he's looking. I don't know what he's looking for, but he keeps looking. Then finally, he closes the bin and then he goes sits down again.
All right.
I think he might be looking for food, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember if it's on the list, but I don't think it's in the top 10. Lynn, you got another guess?
Somebody that smells.
Yes, that's actually on here. Actually, that's our highest pick so far, neglecting personal hygiene. They say, I once sat on a 7-hour New York to London flight next to the smelliest man in the universe, so says some travel writer. Says the concept of soap and water never seemed to have occurred to him. That is a terrible thing. Oh, and now well, why don't you come in here and participate? I see we...
Encroach into your seat. They lean too far left or right, and they encroach your
You know,
seat.
you're actually good in this game. You should be in here. All right, listen, I'm not going to. I'm going to give you number one, and then we'll go from there. Number one, kicking, bumping, or shoving the back of the seat. What about when you're in your seat and some idiot
Yeah, I hate that.
hitting
With
the
his-
back of your
yeah,
seat?
with his knees or something
His
like
knee,
that.
it's terrible.
I know. You feel like saying, stop that.
I know. It says that was actually number one. Designed to save on fuel, airplane seats are incredibly light, meaning they transmit the slightest touch. So the poor schlub in front of you, it says that you're constant fidgeting with your tray table, putting it up, putting it down, or putting it back. So that's actually number one. Number two is kind of related to that, and that's the guy that reclines the seat.
Oh, I hate that. He bangs right into your knee.
No, that's right.
And you scream.
So you're crammed in there like sardines unless you fly business class if you're married to a flight attendant. And it says, curious how, pressing the seat recline button, thus, pinning in the person behind you with their tray table so you can't move, right? See, now everybody's shaking their head. That's a terrible one. There's number three on here, and I haven't actually fortunately experienced this, but you usually have one or two toilets on the flight, and you pray to God that they work. Because the stories that I hear from my wife about toilets not working or being out of commission, but they actually have number three, the guy that hogs the toilet, where you have to go so badly, and you're standing there waiting. You're standing there waiting in line. This person's not coming out of the toilet. Then you think, my God, how long are they in there, and what is it going to smell like once they get out of the toilet? So it's number three. You see where we're classy.
That's never happened to you? In other words,
I've never been the cloggy.
The cloggy.
I've had to wait and do the little dance when you're in the aisle, hopping around, saying, please, Lord, let them get out of here. I need to use the bathroom. All right, so let's see here. I'm just going to read some of these to you. One of them says rolling huge suitcases up the aisle. That's kind of where they roll the stuff and they clip your feet. That ever happened to you?
Yeah.
You're sitting in an aisle?
Yeah.
So
you know
actually,
what also bothers me too? When the plane lands,
Yeah.
some of these people figure they got to get up and they got to get in there.
wait. We're going to get to
not
it.
open.
Doggone it. Richard just guessed number 6. People behind you trying to disembark first.
Where do they think they're going?
Yeah, there's a line in the order. You get off that plane in the order of your seat, unless you're some old person waiting for a wheelchair. Then you just got to sit there. But that's true. People behind you, these idiots that have to rush right up.
I know.
Right?
Where are they going? They still have to go wait for their baggage down below.
Yeah, you're not going in there.
I remember years ago they would open the back too, so you were kind of like waiting, like, where am I going? Where am I going?
Well,
I know.
that's
I don't.
true.
Do they still make planes at the back opens?
Well, sometimes at like midsection in the front. I have seen that, but there aren't too many that do that. It's got to be a really big plane. This one, I don't know. It says playing games without the sound turned off. I guess that maybe they have their headphones on, but I don't know. You can still hear them.
Well, no, on an iPad or on an iPhone, they have the sound turned on.
Okay, well, that's just what it says. It says some of the most irritating things are these game sounds, bleep, bloop, blop.
But you know what annoys me a lot is when they say, okay, everybody has to turn off their cell phones.
Well, that just
and there's
changed.
some woman, that
I know.
just can't get off her cell phone.
Oh, the woman that you're eyeing next to you, and they said all phones have to be off, and you see she's cheating. She still has the phone on.
I know. It's like,
It's
what
true.
don't you understand? Shut off the
Doggone it.
phone.
Hey, do we need another break, Lynn? Let's
All
take
right.
another break. We'll continue with our list.
All right, don't go away. We got more to talk about. We'll be right back.
Are you dreaming about your next home improvement project? Let the experienced Carbonneau craftsmen help make your dream home a reality. Call them at 954-984-9393 and let them help you redo the things in your home that make it special. At Carbonneau, they specialize in residential door and window design, repairs, and screens. They carry the top brands you know and trust: BHI, Galaxy, Windor, and ES. They'd be happy to create a signature look for your home. Call Carbonneau at 954-984-9393 and let them know you heard about them on the Elkins and Friedman Know Nothing Show. And you'll get a special 10% discount just for mentioning their name. 954-984-9393 is the number for Carbonneau Home Repair. And the sooner you call them and have the home team at your doorstep, the faster that'll make your dream house a reality. Call today or visit their website at CarbonneauHomeRepair.com. That's 954-984-9393. Schedule a free estimate today. 954-984-9393. Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins & Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins & Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. This is the Elkins & Friedman Know Nothing Show. Time to get back to Alan and Rich for more. If you'd like to join in, just call in 1-800-889-0267 and become part of the show. That's 1-800-889-0267. Once again, Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman.
All right, we're bringing it home, everybody.
Yeah, we're back
now, listen,
again.
I know I'm boring the heck out of you, Richard, but a couple, just more of these. Tell me if you've ever seen and wondered about this guy. The guy in the bare feet are wearing the socks. And what they do, they take the shoes off, so they're in the socks. Then they go into the bathroom.
You're going to the bathroom?
Well, if you've ever been in those bathrooms or bare feet, it's disgusting.
I wouldn't walk in there. I put boots on when I go to the bathroom.
There are puddles on the floor.
I know.
And I'm thinking, who are these people that walk around barefoot or in socks on the plane? I just find that personally disgusting.
I was told a story when I was younger that I will never, ever take my shoes off because your feet swell when you're in the airplane.
That's true.
Your feet swell, so then you can't put your shoes back on, and that happened to my grandfather. He couldn't put his shoes back on, and he had...
This is the snoring individual.
No, that's
That's
my
the
uncle.
uncle.
Oh, that's an
My
uncle.
grandfather doesn't snore.
All right, so we got a snore and we got a foot smeller, or a foot sweller.
Sweller.
Okay, sweller.
Yeah, his feet swole. He couldn't get his shoes back on. And he had to, he had a chauffeur, everybody waiting for him, and he could not. He had to leave the airplane with the slippers that they used to give you at American Airlines.
On the plane.
And that's how he had to walk off the plane.
That's a funny story. Well, sorry about that. All right, here, the guy
So
that
don't take your shoes off.
Listen to this. What about
Right,
the
everyone
guy
keep
that,
your shoes on.
the guy that coughs and sneezes behind you, and you're saying, my God, this guy has like TB or something. He's sneezing all over or
I know
coughing.
That's
You
why
hate
some
that
people
guy?
wear those masks. Anybody wear the mask on your plane?
Exactly. But you know what I'm talking about? You didn't think of that one. Yapping on the phone. Okay, yapping on the phone. Okay. How about when boarding before the group numbers call? This is happening this week. They'll go, okay, we're going to do the pre-boards, anybody with small children, you know? And then you got the, listen, I had this New York, I don't want to defame all New Yorkers, but I had your classic New Yorkers, okay, in zone whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And they clearly, it wasn't their turn, but they all rushed forward like cattle. And, like you said, the plane's not leaving until everybody gets on board. But those people that try to force their way up there, only to be told, sir, you're group 2, we're only doing pre-boards right now. You know, that kind of stuff.
But I guess they think that if they get on the plane first, they'll land in Florida first.
Drives me crazy. And then the last one I'm going to leave you with is the guy that, you have the bin space for your bag. So you get to your seat, and some other guys crammed all their crap into your bin space. That's your space. They're invading your space.
I know. So
I
when they're
agree
not
with that
looking, they
one.
kind of move it a little bit.
Yeah. And then you got the guy that you have your bag, and then what he does, he has his coat, and he's laid out his coat so that it stretches the whole length of the bin. You know what I do?
I just take my bag and I just push it right
That's
into
exactly what I
it.
do.
The heck with that.
And it cuts both ways because it actually talks about, the abusing it. These guys feel incensed that you have the nerve to put your bag on top of their coat that they've laid out. Anyway, those, my friends, are the most annoying things that people do on
I feel
planes.
like you were venting
Actually,
a little bit through
I
that.
was
though.
venting.
A little
Actually,
bit.
one of the most annoying things is talking about the annoying things. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's a new list. We'll have that one next time. Now, real quickly, we'll get to some other stories, but while I was on the plane talking to this really hot girl, Courtney Galliano, whose picture we couldn't put up, but check her out on the internet, she actually participated, and I actually read this, that there was a glitch in the Delta computer system, And what happened, people were able to get for 2 hours incredibly cheap airfares. From about 10 a.m. to noon, Delta fares on their own website were showing up incorrectly. So, for instance, round trip Cincinnati to Minneapolis, $25.05.
So how many of those did you buy?
I didn't buy any. This girl
But
bought
I bet you would
three
have
of
bought
them.
them just because it's a good deal.
No, Richard, I fly for free. You would have, you cheapskate. So instead of paying like $400, $25. So what happened, just incredibly cheap prices. This is another one. Round trip first class from Oklahoma City to St. Louis, $12.83. How about this? Boston to Honolulu for $68.
Were they actually able to keep the price?
Yes, they were, and that's what it said. The customer service says Delta says they would honor the incorrectly priced fares. So the word apparently spread like wildfire.
How long was it up online like that for that?
2 hours.
That's
2 hours?
fabulous.
2 hours. So people were calling everybody. And like I said, I think that this girl, Courtney, told me she bought 3 different, flights. Yeah, how can you beat that? All right, enough of that. So Richard wants to know, he wants to do some other stories. So the first one I thought was interesting. I got out of the New York Post, and it says socialite behind bars after swiping a $5,000 sweater. So I hold that up for everybody.
This is in
At
New York
point,
City?
Yeah, we won't put the pictures
Where did you buy
up.
that, at Barney's?
It's funny. It probably did come from Barney's.
I bet
knowing
it was
that.
either Barney's or Bergdorf Goodman.
So here's what it says. A sticky-fingered socialite is spending Christmas on Rikers Island instead of her Southampton mansion as punishment for swiping a pricey sweater from a Manhattan Avenue boutique. And this woman, I guess she's divorced, but she was married to the guy that developed Fisher Island.
Oh, Fisher
Miami?
Island.
Yeah, that's some
very
buku
nice.
bucks. So she got 30 days in jail last week for shoplifting a $5,135. Now, I don't know this designer. Brunello, Cucinelli. Cucinelli? So, yeah, I found that amazing. So it says she popped into the fitting room to try on the sweater. And while she was in there, she requested in another size, keeping the original sweater in her stall. And then what happened? She was observed on surveillance cameras leaving with a bulge into the purse that she had. It says, I observed the defendant leaving the fitting room with only one sweater, and that her black shopping bag appeared to have a bulge. The defendant then exited the store without paying for the sweater.
She tried to pull a Winona Ryder over there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Winona. We can say that because you were found guilty of shoplifting.
Absolutely.
But 30 days in jail is a pretty stiff sentence.
I think so, too, compared to some of these stories that we always do where these idiots get no time.
Well, she needs to learn a lesson. She has a mansion. You just said Hamptons Mansion and
Hamptons
Fisher Island,
Mansion.
and she needs to steal a
Rich
$5,000
chick.
coat.
I know. Shame on her.
Look, I bet if we added up all the clothing, Richard, that you bought over the last 20 years,
Right.
I bet it wouldn't come to $5,000, right?
Maybe 500.
The $500.
But not
Can you
5,000.
imagine that? Would you let your wife go out and buy a $5,000 sweater?
No, I mean,
Of
you
course
go to
not.
Target and get something just as nice.
You know how many wives you could buy for $5,000?
Maybe that's why she stole it, so husband couldn't see the bill.
All right, so
I know,
let's
he
see.
could
What
be
do
a
we
cheap guy.
got 12 minutes. You guys make me rush it. All right, should we go to the next story? All right, next
Do
story.
we need a commercial break yet or no?
Do we have one more to do? No, we'll
we
keep
do?
going.
One more?
Now, I found this as a very touching Christmas story, and it's simply this. Wife accused of putting bleach in husband's eye drops.
Oh,
Nothing-
my God. You know that would burn?
Yeah, I think it would.
Horrible.
It says a woman's facing sentencing after accusations of putting bleach in her husband's eye drops.
She thought that would kill him?
I don't know.
Go blind.
Look, I don't know. I guess maybe I don't even want to go there. I can make an improper joke, but since we have a lady here, I won't even do that. Let's see here. Faces sentencing. It says Christy McDermott, McDermott, 35, could face penalties up to 93 days in jail.
How do you get 93? Not 94, not 92,
I agree.
93?
That's my thinking. Why don't we just round it off to even numbers? 100 days. You, sir, get 100 days.
But you know it's amazing? Like, the other woman gets 30 days
30 days for a
sweater. This woman's getting
harm
93
nobody.
hours, 93 days
93 days.
for putting
bleach in her husband's
and
eye
that kid
drops.
kills 4 people.
Well, you remember
And he
that.
gets probation.
You know, I should. You know, there was the follow-up story. We had a couple of those. Every week we could do these stories about judges behaving badly that essentially give no jail time. It's to the one I remember the one with the affluenza.
Right, he was suffering from affluenza. his attorney
Affluenza,
said.
rich kid's disease. He
He doesn't know the
killed
difference between right and wrong.
several other people and got nothing. You know, actually, he's going away to California to stay in a sobriety center for a while.
I'm sure. What's
Yeah.
that called? The Ritz-Carlton or the Four
I
Seasons?
know. I can't think of the name
Called
of it.
Promises.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one. I'm right. Promises the Malibu one, I think. All right. You know, we didn't talk about, Richard.
What's that?
We usually open up our show where we talk about movies that we saw, and God knows, this was actually a banner season for movies. I read it was the second most in terms of volume of movies
right?
people going in ever.
Because you had that. I didn't see it yet. The
There were
American
so
Hustle.
many.
You saw the
I did
American
see
Hustle.
American
I heard it was
Hustle.
a great movie.
It was a great movie, and my favorite actress Jennifer Lawrence, who I love, Can Do No Wrong, is in that, along with Bradley Cooper and Christian Bale.
There's
and
an Amy Adams.
Yeah, and she looks really hot. So just a really good movie. And then also opening up, there were a couple movies that had done
Was Saving Mr.
done
Banks.
really well. Yeah, Saving Mr. Banks was another one. They had the new one with Leonardo DiCaprio just opened.
Oh yeah,
Did a pretty
Wolf of
decent
Wall Street.
business.
It's a 3-hour
Wolf of-
movie though.
I've been watching Blackfish.
Yeah.
It's actually a documentary about SeaWorld.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I absolutely love that documentary. It's so well put together. I'm
Yeah.
a big documentary fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that was a.
What,
a good,
you
good
mean that's a
documentary.
movie that's out now as a documentary? You mean at like the theaters?
It was in the theaters. I
What was
believe
it called?
Well, you know where it was? I think it was at
Blackfish.
FAU. Wasn't it at FAU? The living room theaters at FAU.
Oh, we need to take our
What?
final break. So let's take our final
right.
break and we'll be back.
All right, so we'll just take a short break and we'll be right back. So
Yep.
don't go away.
Don't go away.
Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins & Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins & Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Are you dreaming about your next home improvement project? Let the experienced Carbonneau craftsmen help make your dream home a reality. Call them at 954-984-9393 and let them help you redo the things in your home that make it special. At Carbonneau, they specialize in residential door and window design, repairs, and screens. They carry the top brands you know and trust: BHI, Galaxy, Windor, and ES. They'd be happy to create a signature look for your home. Call Carbonneau at 954-984-9393 and let them know you heard about them on the Elkins & Friedman Know Nothing Show. And you'll get a special 10% discount just for mentioning their name. 954-984-9393 is the number for Carbonneau Home Repair. And the sooner you call them and have the home team at your doorstep, the faster that'll make your dream house a reality. Call today or visit their website at CarbonneauHomeRepair.com. That's 954-984-9393. Schedule a free estimate today. 954-984-9393. You're listening to the Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman Know Nothing Show with two longtime attorneys who are here to share their experience and knowledge and some fun along the way. The toll-free number, if you want to participate, is 1-800-889-0267.
Grudge match.
Grudge match. I'll tell you
know
about
that.
it. All right, we're back.
We're back, Richard, and Richard and I were just doing a little more movie talk. And what's the
I'm
movie
talking
you were
about
just
Grudge
talking
Match.
about?
Just came out, I think, on Christmas Day. That's about two boxers. I think Sylvester Stallone
and Robert De Niro.
So I haven't seen that, but I heard that must be pretty entertaining.
You're correct. Now, a lot of times when I go to the movies, I'll go on Rotten Tomatoes to look at reviews. You ever go on a site to look at that?
No.
Yeah, it's a really good site, and I'm looking. And I started to say, I read The Wolf of Wall Street. This is really weird because
It's a 3-hour movie.
Did you see that?
I go on Facebook for my reviews.
But here's the
Can you
deal.
sit in a movie for 3 hours?
No, I don't know that I could, but here's the thing. The critics really like that movie, but at some screenings, people actually left. They don't like it.
Probably had to go to the bathroom 3 hours. You
Well,
can sit there
maybe
for
a
3
lot
hours.
of debauchery, but it's
Well,
interesting.
no, but you know why some people don't like it? Because I guess the movie's about this man that stole a lot of
Well, a
money.
lot of
took advantage.
debauchery, sex. I read orgies, this and that.
Yeah,
it
so
sounds
pe-
like right up my alley. But
Right, I mean, he's giving a bad name to those guys on Wall Street.
Well, they deserve that bad name because we haven't called in a while. The guys that used to listen
I
to us.
know,
on
because
your
they're out there
contingent.
carousing and debauchery and whatever else they do on Wall
That's
Street.
right, enough carousing. All right, so you're right. The Wolf of Wall Street. Here's a flop, a major flop. 47 Ronin. That's the
Oh, yeah,
Keanu
yeah.
Reeves movie. They spent, I think it was about 150 million on that movie.
I have no
They'll
desire
never
to
get
see
it
that.
back. Did terribly.
And the movie.
Secret Life of Walter
Walter
Mitty.
Mitty.
Yeah, the reviews were
Really?
so-so.
I don't think I have the
47%.
patience to see that.
And here you are, Rich. Grudge Match. And I hate to tell you this.
What?
Grudge Match, only 20% favorable, like that movie.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
That was it.
These guys are like in their 60s and they're boxing.
And then again, we neglected actually number one and number two. Number one being The Hobbit, which has done really well.
I heard that was a good movie, The Hobbit.
Yeah. I
And,
heard
but
that
you
was
know
a
what I
great
heard was a
movie.
great movie? Frozen.
Well, wait a minute. We'll talk about your personality in a minute. I know there was a joke. There may be your wife's forehead. I know there are a lot of frozen.
No, that's only
jokes.
after she gets the Botox.
That was the implication. That was the joke. Here, okay, we had done this all.
All right.
But Frozen actually got a really good review, 89%. Anchorman 2 was the other one.
Anchorman 2 is supposed to be a very funny movie.
Yeah,
Better than Anchorman 1.
According
No,
to
yeah.
my Facebook,
Mr.
that
Santos.
was not as good
No, that's right.
as the first
That's
one.
right.
Really?
Mr.
And
And that's
Santos
where I
was
get
saying-
my reviews.
I guess it depends who you ask.
And that's exactly what the reviews were. It's about 75%. They say, and it's not quite living up to expectations of the last one. And then American Hustle, like I said, go ahead, recommend it, 94% approval. And that's really
What
it
about
for the-
Philomena? Was
the
that on
movies.
there?
Philomena, no, it's not. I know there are a bunch of good movies that have been out for a while. Just like, Tyler Perry. That guy can do no wrong, but...
How did that movie do?
Medea Christmas bombed.
Really?
20%.
I mean,
so not-
how many of those movies can you see like that?
Exactly.
And by the way,
Maybe
just so
it's
you know, Philomena, the movie Richard said it, had a 92% favorable rating. So I guess that was the early days of Disney.
No, that's Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh, and that one, that
Yeah,
supposed to be
Philomena
pretty
was
good, too.
about some woman that gave up her child for adoption when she was a teenager.
Well, it's just, oh yeah, Judi Dench is in
Yeah,
it. Here I'm reading
Judi
about
Dench.
it now. Yeah, everybody seemed to like that. Little heavy for me. Anyway, so that's movie time. Now we got 4 more minutes. I got a
4
couple
more minutes. I mean,
talk about a
where
couple more
did the time
stories.
go, Alan?
I don't know, Rich, but now I got to do stall for 4 minutes
You
and
have to
we're out
stall.
of here. All right, so let's see. I thought this was interesting, and I've got nothing else to talk about for 4 minutes. But I read 2
You got
minutes.
2 minutes.
Thank you,
Thank
Linda
you.
Bordop.
Thank you. Thank you, Freddie, our executive producer.
Yeah, we can go
I think
around
that's
the
what he
room.
does,
Thank
right?
you, everybody, for the
Yeah,
last
Freddie, don't
2
forget to
minutes.
empty the wastebaskets before you leave tonight, okay? Thanks.
I like that, Rich.
Thank you.
It says a New Zealand woman set a world record for the longest run without sleep earlier this week. Her name is Kim Allen. She ran 86 hours, 11 minutes, and 9 seconds, covering 310 miles to break the previous record, 301 miles. It says she cut off the top of her shoes to deal with terrible blisters and was plagued by the heat.
One.
I hear the music.
We got 1 minute? Okay, we got one more
So
minute.
there we go. She did it as a fundraiser, raised $7,000. This was in New Zealand, thus explaining the heat because they're the opposite. They're in the
Did you
summer.
Did you ever fly down to New Zealand or Australia?
Yeah,
Either
I've
New
been-
Zealand or Florida, 'cause there's not been a hint of cold this whole
Yeah,
time.
that's true. No, New Zealand's beautiful. I plan to get there as soon as my wife can get us
Yeah,
on
but just
one of
make
those
sure there's
trips.
enough bathrooms on the plane for you, though.
And now we're actually done. I think we're officially out of time.
30
Officially-
seconds. What can we say in 30
The only
seconds?
thing I was going to say, I got the Sky Mall magazine. Freddie's saying say goodbye to everybody. But everybody, you pick up a Sky magazine. There's a guy in here that you can buy a custom shirt for like $175.
All right, well, I'll buy,
Ugliest
I
piece
won't
of
be
crap.
buying those.
No, never $175.
All right.
I guess it's time to say
Gotta
goodnight,
go. Time
everybody.
went by. Where did it go? I don't
Look,
know.
everybody in the control booth's waving to me. And
All
I'm
right.
waving back. We have
Goodbye.
10
We'll
seconds.
be back next Friday,
Ro,
7
thank
o'clock.
you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having
And
me.
please come back again.
That's
Yay.
right. Please come
Excellent.
back again.
All right,
And,
so I guess it's time to say goodnight.
And Mr. Santori, thanks for coming over here. And,
Good job,
doing this
although you
thing.
showed the back of my head a couple times too many, but that's okay.
But it's a lovely spot you have there.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Happy
and we'll see you
Friday.
next Friday.